Let's go back to the Alice because this issue isn't going anywhere. We brought you live images on Monday night, you recall, of that town meeting, which for the most part was a place for frustrated residents to come up with solutions on how to save their town. Now, thousands and thousands turned up. We're told around 3,500. And save for a few agitators, everyone was looking for solutions rather than more conflict. It was an audience, look at those faces, as racially diverse as the town of Alice Springs itself. But if you listen to the ABC, it was to hear a series of cherry-picked interviews that seemed to push a clear agenda.
Many locals soon left, some frustrated, others in tears.
It was really a disgusting show of white supremacy. Really.
The tension and violence and anger in the room was really palpable, and it was clearly all around white supremacy and the safety of white people in this town.
And I am way more concerned about the danger posed by those people in there, those white people that have a choice whether to live here, than vulnerable Aboriginal children whose connection to this country cannot be broken. Like, if they don't like living here, if they've got a problem with it, they can leave.
It sounds like they're all reading from talking points, doesn't it? Joining me now, Michelle Thompson, a local who spoke at that meeting on Monday, and NT Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price. Michelle, you just heard what the ABC had to say about a meeting you were at. We weren't there, you were.
Yes.
Tell us what you think.
I was totally gutted by their reporting. They were so inaccurate. I thought that person couldn't possibly have been there. The only people that I know would have left in tears were the agitators that were asked to leave by the Arrernte people. They were just there to disrupt. There were over 3,000 local residents all there because my son had put out a call for everyone to come together to try and move forward to save Alice Springs. Everyone is being affected by the lawless behaviour that's been going on. I have 3 children here and I have 7 grandchildren here, and I want them to be safe. I want the children that are out on the streets to be safe. They should be taken into care by Territory families. They shouldn't be wandering around at 3 in the morning, coming and smashing windows and breaking into people's houses. People are scared, and the ABC report completely missed the focus, completely.
One of the things that came clear to me on the weekend, Jacinta, was how much East Coast racial politics is being pushed into Alice Springs, but also how multicultural and united that community is. I mean, it's rare to see an Australian community of such diversity be as strong and as community-minded as it is. I mean, it was really heartening to see. So they all come there wanting to focus on solutions. What do you say about the ABC?
The ABC is not in actually reflecting the view of a community. They had 3,000 people to choose from, and they chose to listen to the voices of 3 bleeding hearts who clearly, and when you look at that group that were there, any local can see that these weren't long-term residents, bar probably one of them, but ultimately they're the ones that are creating the issues for these young people. They're completely disconnected from the lives of these Indigenous kids. They think they can speak on behalf of Aboriginal people in our community, as you've just heard. And it was, and I had, at the end of that meeting, I had local Arrernte people come up to me and say how furious they were at the behaviour of this small group of people, how they had no right, they didn't even know how to pronounce Arrernte words correctly, and that had no right to go in there and accuse everyone of being racist. I mean, basically they're suggesting that Aboriginal people who were there in attendance that night are stupid and are being led by Nazis and white supremacists. They need to get their heads checked and they need to get out of the way because they are part of the problem in our communities. And it's really, it's disgusting to see that here are community members trying to make a difference, trying to come up with solutions in one of the most tolerant communities on the face of the earth. And this is the stuff that we have to put up with and to be confronted with. And that the ABC don't care. They don't care for the kids on the streets. because they're the views that they're prepared to provide to Australians, as though that's what's gone in our community. This is what we're up against.
Look, I was really pleased to see the Mayor, Matt Patterson, get out today. He wasn't mincing his words. He's demanding an apology. Have a listen.
We are all in this together. The whole community's feeling the pinch and the whole community wants to see action. So we don't need unnecessary articles that are factually incorrect to be posted around the country. And again, I call on the chair of the ABC to retract the comment and put out a public apology to the community of Alice Springs.
Michelle, the PM's got a report on his desk now with solutions to deal with the problems you're facing. I just played a comment before from the head of the NT Police Association, very disappointed that they haven't even been consulted. The community hasn't been consulted either. I mean, you guys all met there on Monday, but you didn't get much of an ear of the Prime Minister when he arrived into town the week earlier. If you could get his ear right now, what would you tell him needs to change?
Oh, well, I think it'd be nice if the Prime Minister actually came in and met with some of the community people rather than the select few that were put in one room for him. And he went from the airport to that room and back to the airport. It would be nice if he met with the people that are trying to make a difference. And we've had about 30 people that have all offered to come on board and try and move forward and make some positive changes for Alice Springs. And the feeling in the room the other night was so positive. Everyone wants to see things improve. No one likes seeing their town bad-mouthed around the world. We rely heavily on tourism here, and the place is beautiful. We don't need to have this bad press. And from a minority of lawless behaviour going on, and everyone's suffering the impact from it. And it's just not right.